Hello all. Um, Welcome to week 5 for our lecture for BMN 503 Buddhist History. Today is May 17, 2020. I received many feedback from you by email, and thank you for your midterm, the answers and presentation projects that you submitted. All of you did a fantastic job, and I'm really glad that you are starting to brainstorming about how you approach how we should approach to learn a religion. And many of you raise a very interesting questions, and some are very critical, and which I really like it. I wanted to use your questions to leading the lecture along the way. So I may not be able to answer all of every single of the questions, but trying to point it out. Some of the are going to using the abstract of some of your questions, and trying to answer as much as I could during this lecture. So that's what I'm going to do. And along the way for this course, my intention is I'm trying to elaborate some of the most crucial concept of Buddhism, and in plain language as much as I can to explain to you guys. So this way, either you are having be previously exposed to this religion or not, you're going to get some benefit out of it. Either some of you may come across this Buddhist culture or tradition in your previous backgrounds or hometown. You can re-examine your own thoughts and your understanding about Buddhism. What you saw before compared to our discussion here, you'll find some link in between, and sometimes there's a conflict, and which is a good way to critically examine religious behaviors, religious experiences. So try not to be blindsided by this is a good religion, so you have to follow, by a certain authority. There's no such a thing in Buddhism. It looks like it. It may have some organization that each Buddhist tradition has established it in different areas, different countries. That is so-called institutionalized religion. But outside of it, you still have to have your own free judgments, your own personal understanding, and that doesn't stop any points, regardless how long you've been, learning this tradition. You always have that mind, critical mind, that ties to your cultural cultivation as well as in academic sense. You have to have that mindset, and also that's actually in acceptable under the mindset that we should have in our modern day era, um, in our in a way of thinking or way of life, I would say. So let me see. So one of the question raised is that why the Buddhism one of the most important religion in the world? So why is the Buddhism one of the important religion? I will give you very untraditional answer here. So before I give out that untraditional answer, I'll give you a traditional answer first. The Buddhism is one of the most, I would say not important, but most popular religion in the world. One of the popular religion in the world is Christianity, Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoism, Hinduism, Christianity, also you can say Catholicism, Protestant, and Eastern Orthodox. You know, all kinds of religions are spread out, and Judaism, of course, Islam, just name a few. It's all commonly accepted religion in various regions of in the in many countries, as well as the the most the globally accepted religion, I would say. But there's many other religions. It's a countless practices and religions that you come across. So Buddhism is one of it. It's not one of the important one. I don't think so. Buddhism is not the only solution. That just you have to be just bear in mind. So when I say it is not the only solution. There's many different aspects in terms of religious practice, religious tradition. So the bottom line is if you have more bigger capacity to embrace different differences. But when you deal with these different religious practices, there are sometimes you'll see some conflicts. But the higher or deeper you understand, the less conflict you're going to have in your own understanding. The conflict or the differences, it only shows an outside presentation. When you see truly deep digging down why people practice different religion, the religious experience, you'll find some commonalities with inside of human mind. Okay, so I will not go deeper, but that's one of my answer I can give to you. Another different way to answer is Buddhism is not important religion unless it affects your life. So let me repeat. Buddhism is not important unless it will affect my thoughts and my life. It's meaningless if you're talking about the religion without having any your own benefit, right? Any religion. Buddhism is the same. So Buddhism is I don't want to put a Buddhism into this is the top notch or higher authority. There's no such a thing, and Buddhism never claimed that way. starting from beginning. That's one thing I can share with you. However, throughout the history, there is many traditions um, expanded, and many traditions become certain doctrines, and that's exist. But you should not see any Buddhist tradition as an authority. So try to build that understanding that will help you to as a long way to as a long run. It is better to using that kind of understanding. So if when you come across when you practice one Buddhist tradition, when you're feeling this is beneficial to you, that is the Buddhism or practice that you need. But when you growing up to a certain level, you'll find that is not the only answer that you are seeking. So there is another different way or perspective is waiting for you to reach out. But before you see that, that level is not relevant to you. So you don't see that as needed, or you don't see it as a truth or the answer for you. But when that time comes, surprisingly, those things you don't see that's the true. You see that different way, and you jump into that tradition or that teaching of Buddhism and so forth. So you constantly will find that when as long as you grow up your understanding or your cultivation of the Buddhism, you come across many different traditions. So just hold. We have to be careful. Hold our mouth. Say this is the only way. No, there's no such a thing. Okay. So I think that's for enough to answer that question. Here's an interesting question, and this tied to our today's subject, emptiness. I wanted to using this today's lecture, focusing on to explaining the concept of emptiness in Buddhism. One of our students asked a question. The Buddha declared, form does not differ from void, and the void does not differ from form. The same is true for feeling, conception, volition, and consciousness. If this statement is the truth, why human beings have to be always challenged, and what is the meaning of life, and how people should apply this statement of emptiness to their life. So I believe you quote this coming from Heart Sutra, and that's the text I sent you early couple of weeks ago for us a reference that you can read some chapters. So this statement is widely popular in Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana Buddhism is spread out in the region in Tibetan, China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and some other regions, Mongolia, and so forth. And that is the Mahayana is a later form of the Buddhism, and which is the in English is a bigger vehicle. Maha is a big, huge. Yana is a vehicle. The vehicle means you can carry more people. What that means is you are not take this religion just for yourself practice self-liberation, but you consider this religion as you're taking as a community, so a little bit more towards others. It does not mean other Buddhist tradition is selfish. That's not what it means, and that is not true. But Mahayana Buddhism emphasizing that regard a little more emphasizing that. Okay, so one of the understanding main tenets of Mahayana Buddhism is there's a term called emptiness. So here you quote the form does not differ from the void. Void is actually equivalent under the word of the emptiness in Buddhism. Sometimes they're using the same words, but normally you are using emptiness rather than void. Okay, and the void does not differ from form. So form is the existing thing. This exists. You see it, it's there. Its form consists one entity, one pen, right? But when Buddhist philosophy, we go a little deeper level to see this form. So that's why we say form can be looking as a void, as emptiness. How are you looking at this pen as emptiness? That is quite challenging philosophically, or just challenging to accept it if you've never thought about it. And this word might help giving you other, leading to other questions. But very briefly and very straightforwardly explain to you a Buddhist perspective of emptiness is let me I explained to you in class about impermanence, right? Before, so if you remember, impermanence is the part of the Buddhist understanding. Everything in this world is impermanent in terms of its lifespan. Okay, so this pen is accumulation of many different angles, physically, mentally. Okay, let me break down into it. So this, in order to bring this pen to my hand, it has to go through many steps, from the original resources to manufacturer. Before even manufacturer, it has to be design this by his own thoughts process, and it goes to manufacturer factory, go through all this process to make this pen as it is. And it went through the process of the distribution from the factory to shipping and traveling to the retailer, or even before retailer, it may be wholesaler after, and then retailer, store, or online store, whatever it is, and your mind triggered, and you need such a thing called pen to write it, and you order it, and now you have it right here. But there is more story into it. I'm just giving you the very simple, the process. But if you're going deep, keep thinking about this pen, this is amazing. You'll find this pen exists here. Is unbelievable miracle. So just this pen. So if thinking about all this existence, whatever you see, whatever you touch, including yourself, it's all impermanent in a sense because it's constantly moving forward, moving, constantly changing, constantly evolving, and sometimes it's it crack, it broken and it crushed into trash can and it's become a resources again, or for hundreds and thousands years later, who knows? Someone or another generation will find it different way. So if you're expanding the time zone, time frame, this pen, what you see as this shape, this is very temporary. And even this temporary existence, we call existence, is quite very limited thoughts. This form, this existence is just human, our convenience to labeling it as a pen. So that's one way to understanding emptiness, through impermanence, right? So let me give you one another perspective. It's more scientific, understanding. Of course, we're not talking about science, but using scientific understanding to examine this thing. This thing exists in our eye as this shape, but if you use a microscope, just imagine that you're looking at it, you'll see it as a very digging into very small particles. Everyone knows, the atom. So when you go to looking at the level of atom, you will not see this thing, but you will see a very small particle surrounded with this huge space. So one atom has nucleus. I think it's a nucleus. I'm not, don't quote me, but atom is a huge playground, and there's a central nucleus elements, whatever it is. It's like a ball, like a ball of, like a baseball, in the baseball field. So all these fields are empty, and that when you're looking into what is atom, you will find little ball there. So that's what it is. And even you look even deeper into that atom, you'll see the level into quantum. In quantum level, that existence of the atom, you will not find it. You will see when you're trying to find it, it will become an energy, a form of energy. So energy, you cannot grasp it. You can just detect it. When you see it as energy, to trying to use it, and it suddenly become an entity. So the quantum level, all this entity become sort of unexist, sort of it is a particle, at the same time is an energy or the wave. So if you're looking at that level, that microscopic level, this pen exists in front of you. At the same time, it is a form of energy. So let me quote back to our Buddhist Heart Sutra. Form does not differ from void. Okay, form does not differ from emptiness. And the emptiness does not differ from form. This pen is not differ from energy. And that energy that you saw, you feel, is not differ from this pen. Okay, that's what it means. That's what literally Buddhist understanding of emptiness. So what is benefit for us in daily life? We tend to attach this pen. Sometimes if you like it, maybe this is not an expensive pen, but it writes pretty well. I like it, because it's pretty, well made. So I like it, and when I say I like it, I kind of really like it. I attach it. This is mine. Nobody can take away from me. That kind of sense, right? But you know what? Many times when you might have same experience, this pen will disappear out of sense, because when I carry it, and use it, sometimes I share with many people I work come across. Sometimes people take it. My customer in my job, in my day job, I have to meet many different people in every day, and they wanted to sign it, and the next day, the next moment, when that person gone, the pen is disappear. So the people tend to having free stuff, or I just slip through my pocket, it's gone. Then I have to find another pen, right? So I'm kind of attached to it. That attachment in your mind causing many frictions, something unnecessary, things, emotions. If someone take this pen out of me, either they just plainly just steal it, or they just need it. Whatever it is, I don't blame any for that. But your mind, when that happens, I'm pretty sure many people have that experience. You feel uneasiness here. Where's my pen? And I'm trying to blame someone. Or if I lost it, or trying to blame myself. I lost that that pen is $5 or $2 cost me. I have to buy it again. Some sort of the emotion is involved. So this is just a pen. What about your most expensive property that you own? What about your car? Anything you own. We are attached. And attached is the natural thing in human behavior, human mind. But at the same time, it creates some hardship. If you are really into it, sometimes you cannot getting out of it. I don't know about myself, but I saw some people are very, very attached to these tangible things or as an existence. So what I see is they see the world as a existing. So they are counting every single thing. So if you see this is a worldview. We were trying, if you can, that is, keep that worldview, but you also can getting out of that box. Sometimes it will give you another leeway to see it. So say like, I lost this pen, but you understand this is the energy will go from one place to another. So whenever this energy is near you, you're just using it. Use it wisely for its using it as a utility. I'm using very technical term here, very philosophical term. Utility. You use this energy as much as you can. But when time comes, this will find its own way, like as it has its leg to walk out. With someone will take it. That means this energy is leaving you, but you don't have to attach to it because energy goes from one way to another. It just flow by. And by itself, it's not exist anyway if you're looking at in deep quantum physical level. Why you attach a thing is not exist. Isn't it shocking? It may shocking some of you because it exists at the same time it's not exist. So you have to using both. We're not denying the existence and re-emphasizing. We are not denying it. We have to accept this existence, the form, but at the same time, we know this is empty. So when time disappear, we know we don't get hurt your feeling, right? Because it's empty at the beginning. As it either here or there, it was empty. But it does not mean that energy is disappear, that energy is going on and on to different level, different form. It just doesn't look like this anymore. So form does not differ from emptiness, and emptiness is not differ from form. So that is quite challenging thoughts. And I would say most important concept in Buddhism, outside of all different traditions. So I will explaining in different way after this clip, okay? Thank you very much.